Hey, welcome to the Book Click. My name is Tim. I'm an indie author. I've written about 3 books so far, and I like to do interviews with other indie authors to give them more exposure, to get their name out there, to get their books out there so that hopefully you can discover them. So today I'm going to be talking to N.S. Chaudhury about her book, Frostbyte. But before we jump into that, what I'd really love for you to do right now is go down below and click on that subscribe button. If you're already logged into YouTube or Gmail, you should be able to go in and click on that, and it will subscribe you to the channel. The more subscribers we have, the better it is. The more you'll see other author interviews, and the more YouTube will realize, hey, people want to check this out. They want to be a member of this channel. So it's interesting. I'm going to show it to more people. We're going to boost the algorithm, basically. And if you can give it a little thumbs up down there, that would be cool as well. Again, it shows interaction, shows that you're liking the videos, and it will show it to more people. So go ahead and click on the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you can. And let's go ahead and meet our new indie author today, N.S. Chaudhury, and her book, Frostbyte. Let's get to it. Nimi, welcome to the channel. I guess let's just go ahead and get started. We'll jump right into it. Tell me a little bit about you. What's your name? Where are you? What do you do for a living?
Okay, hi. So my name is Nimi. I'm really happy to be here, and I live in Islamabad. My day job is basically a software quality assurance engineer. So I get paid to break softwares during my day job. So
I do that all the
so
time without getting paid for it.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that I get paid for that job. So basically, what my job involves is I am the final step between you get before you get the finished product. So I'm involved in making sure everything works the way it's supposed to. So you get the least broken version of the software or the app or anything you use. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well, all right. Let's jump right into your book. Everybody wants to know a little bit more about you and your book. So, what is the title, and when did it come out?
Okay, so Frostbite came out on the 29th of April, and it's right now it's available in ebook format. There were a few issues with Amazon, like when I was uploading the final version of my manuscript, the pre-orders got canceled for some reason. I'm still not sure why, but so that caused a delay in the paperbacks as well. I'm still getting that part sorted. I'm hoping I can have the paperbacks available by mid-June, but that kind of depends on when I can get my hands on the proofs. So, but for now, the paperback is available on Amazon and on BookFunnel, and sorry, not BookFunnel, my bad. It's on Barnes and Noble and a bunch of other places. I'll share the links. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So.
I'll have a link down in the description so folks can check it out too.
Mhm.
What's the genre of Frostbite?
So, Frostbyte is primarily cyberpunk, but I've been marketing it as Desi Cyberpunk because most of cyberpunk that I grew up with and we see is very either very neo-Tokyo-esque or it's set in LA or New York in a dystopian sort of future version. And so Frostbite is set up in a very South Asian inspired culture, set in indeterminate amount of time in the future. So I've been calling it Desi Cyberpunk because it kind of encapsulates all the elements of the South Asian brown culture.
That sounds cool. Yeah, the great thing about it is it's something you just don't see every day. Like you said, it's not in Tokyo or New York. It's one of the
Mm,
things when I read it that really kind of pulled me in because you didn't even try to introduce anything. It's just there, and that is just there.
yeah,
Everything was very unique for me. I really enjoyed that.
thank you.
Well, yeah. Then go ahead. Tell me a little bit about your world building process then, because you've got your own. It's in the near future, and it's in your culture.
Yeah.
How did you go about world building for that?
So originally, like the earlier drafts were kind of like more typical cyberpunk. But like during revisions, I slowly started introducing more elements of like South Asian culture, slowly because I was like, originally, I when I came up with because I've been working on this book for like almost 13 years. So originally, it was kind of like just a story about a girl who gets murdered and then resurrected illegally. And then I was like, but that's not unique enough in my eyes. And then I was like, okay, what can make it unique? And so slowly I was like, okay, this sounds fun. And then this sounds fun. And so slowly I started introducing elements from the culture that I grew up in and that I see every day around myself. And yeah, that included like slowly introducing like originally I started including elements from like the food and the aesthetics, and then slowly it involved like more and more of the Muslim and brown culture as well. And so until we arrived at the book, like it's kind of like where it is now.
All right, so I guess in a few sentences, how would you pitch your book to someone who knows nothing about it?
So Frostbite, the way I've been like pitching it so far is it's a book about an illegally resurrected murder victim who's trying to figure out the mystery surrounding her death and her new life. And also because it's dual POV, so there's also like a seemingly altruistic shop owner who kind of like takes her in, and on the surface it's because it's out of the goodness of his heart, but there's like layers to it and there's depth to why he's originally doing it, and like it kind of like becomes obvious as you read the book.
Well, okay,
So
if somebody were to pick up your book and read the first page, what do you hope will convince them to keep going?
honestly, the uniqueness of the world building and the like the aesthetics that are there, and because it's different from regular cyberpunk in that like you're kind of like right, it dives into the world without like going overboard with world building elements or like exposition. And so I'm hoping that if somebody picks it up, they're kind of like, oh, this sounds interesting, I'd like to like read more about it, know more about like what's going on. And so yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we kind of like dive into the story right from the beginning.
Yeah,
So
it's what I
yeah,
call hit the ground running. You just jump right into it
yeah,
and you just go, go, go. All
exactly.
right, let's talk a little bit about your book cover. It's the first thing that people see. So, what inspired the design and how does it reflect the story inside?
So I went through like multiple versions of the book cover. I designed it myself, by the way. I did the art and like everything, and it took me almost a year to come to like the version that I was happy with. Um, and the culture is I did hire somebody originally to do the cover for me, but the final product wasn't quite as reflective of the world that was inside. And then ultimately I was kind of like, I can do art myself, so why not give it a shot? And the way I arrived at it was it's kind of like on the cover you can see the main character Hanya, and she is kind of like glitching between the version that we follow and the version of her that was murdered, and then like because she gets a new life and it's an entirely new identity when she's resurrected. So it's kind of like she's losing a part of herself and her history, and it's kind of like reflective of that, but also in the background, the buildings that you see and the signage, and it's very cyberpunk, but also it's instead of like Chinese characters, most of the stuff that's not in English is actually in Urdu, which is the like language I imagine is spoken in the world. It's written in English, but yeah. So
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, you know what? Books often sell based on emotion. People see something and they get caught up. So, what kind of feelings do you hope your books would stir in readers?
Honestly, like the biggest theme that I've tried to explore with it is kind of like found family and themes of identity and feeling of belonging and finding your place in the world. And I'm hoping that that's something that, like, the readers can take away from it as they read it, kind of like, because one of the main characters is trying to find her new place in the world, in this new life that she didn't ask for, but she has it now. So how she's figuring things out and learning to kind of like let go of her ideas and notions that she grew up with, and learning and discovering new facts about the world around her. And it's, I feel like that's something that the readers might resonate with.
Cool.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, in doing a cyberpunk novel, how does it fit in with that genre while also offering something fresh and different? You've kind of touched on it a little bit, but what's different about yours?
So the way it fits in, some of the tropes that are like kind of prevalent are like there's a lot of virtual worlds and resurrection, and like backing up your self in some manner into the digital world, or uploading your brain. These are things that are like have been explored for decades in the cyberpunk genre,
Hmm.
and that is something that you'll find in Frostbite as well. But the new things is, again, like there's a South Asian twist to it. The world,
Yeah.
because cyberpunk usually is very isolated and like very individualistic. I feel like because it's kind of like every man for themselves, or there's just like one person there, and it's like, oh, they find one other person, but it's like just two people against everybody, or they're trying to take down the government, or like mm, these kind of things. But with Frostbite, there's a sense of family in there, because again, one of the MCs, she's finding her place among this new cast of characters, which is like they're very connected, and they care deeply about each other, and there's kind of like a sense of community there, which I feel like is something new in the genre. Yeah.
That's cool. So, what inspired you to write the book? You said you'd been working on this for a long time, but what was the initial inspiration?
So there's two things. Originally, I had like I'm a discovery writer, so usually I don't plot out my books. It's kind of like I just have this one idea in my head, and it's like it just explodes from there as I start writing it. And originally, this wasn't even supposed to be a sci-fi book. This was gonna be like a very supernatural sort of book, maybe contemporary, because the idea came to me was like, what if a ghost tries to investigate their own murder and then they haunt someone? And then it kind of like spiraled from there. And it was like, yeah, maybe it's not a ghost, because how would the ghost interact with the world? And then I started
Yeah.
problem solving it. And then I arrived at this current version of the book where it's like, now it's sci fi, and she's resurrected. I joke about it with my friends that like she's still haunting one of the characters, because she's unwelcome and she showed up. So yeah, and she sticks around for the whole book. So it's like she's kind of like haunting the other MC.
That's
But
cool.
yeah,
How much of you is in the book?
how much of me? So every character has a little bit of me in it. I'm not gonna say which part of which character belonged to me, but like some of the quirks in every character do belong to me. Like one thing I will say is, um, caffeine consumption and like chai and coffee and any like caffeinated drinks is like a big part, which is a big
Cheers.
part of the. Oh yes, I am gonna have. I didn't just put my cup down before the interview, so I don't have one to show right now. But yeah, like consumption of tea is kind of like a whole thing in the brown culture, where we sit down for tea time and we'll just chat over snacks and chai, and that is something that happens way too often in the book. And it's like a thing which I have tea like every day. My parents live nearby, so I visit them like almost every day, And one of the things we do is whenever I visit, it's like I'm gonna have a cup of tea with my dad. And on days if I don't visit, he always calls and he's like, "Okay, it's tea time. Aren't you coming?" So, so that is yeah. So that is a thing which all of my characters are addicted to
Yeah,
caffeine, and yeah.
that's
So
cool.
that is a part of me that's there.
And it's
So
it's throughout the book. Um,
yes, it's throughout the book.
so readers love discovering new authors and hope that they can continue reading them. So what can people expect from you in the future? Is Frostbite a standalone or is it part of a series?
So far it's a planned trilogy, but I do have ideas for like maybe a prequel or like a series of companion short stories because the world has gotten really complex as I've been like writing the book, and there's like a lot of side stories which don't fit into the main plot, so I don't want to involve them in the main books, but I would love to explore them, and hopefully at some point I would like to write them out and like release them either as like stories, as companion stories, or maybe as a prequel. Or
Yeah,
but
it
that
is
remains to be
really
seen.
hard. Once you create a world, it is really hard to leave it. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just because it's in your head and you want to go back and you want to go back and you want to go back.
exactly. Yeah.
So your book hasn't been out very long. Have you received any positive reviews so far?
Oh yeah, so I have had like a lot of really nice feedback because I did art reviews for the book. I gave out art copies, and the feedback has been really positive. I'm very happy with it. So far, they've been enjoying the book. One of the things is like I get consistently hear about is that they really enjoy the world building and how unique it is, which I'm very happy about because I was kind of like on the fence if people would enjoy that because it's so different from what you see normally. So I'm happy that like the response has been positive in that regard.
Well,
And
have you
yeah.
gotten any feedback that really surprised you? Like, wow, they really got this, or or maybe they saw something that you didn't even see.
The way they've like identified with certain aspects of the characters and the way they pick up on it. And some of the feedback has been like, okay, so this character deals with. I'm not going to give any spoilers because there are
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
but like they're like the way this character handles this situation really surprised me, and I'm like, yeah, it was kind of in the back of my mind while I was writing it, but I wasn't sure if anybody would pick up on it because it was so subtle. But I'm really happy that it came through in like even the minor details are being picked up on. And one of the things that really like surprised me and really flattered me was that um, one of the readers compared the world building to Steven Spielberg, which is a very tall order, but I was like very flattered. So yeah.
So let's say a reader picks up Frostbite and they really enjoy it. What's the best way that they can help spread the word for you?
They can talk about it as much as they can. Tell about it to their friends. Talk about it on their social media if they like do book reviews, or just talk about it and tell everybody that it's here.
Yeah,
Because
it's one of
yeah,
the most important things, especially for indie writers. We don't have a lot of
yes,
people in our corner shouting for us. And so
exactly.
it's
So
it's really great if they can leave reviews, if they can, talk about it to their friends and family, and I think it's really important. And I'm always trying to think of what other ways can we help get the word out there, but because it's we are our own marketing department.
we are, yes. And word of mouth is really helpful for like indie authors like us because we don't have the big budgets to like really put out a lot of ads, especially in the beginning when we're just starting out.
Right.
So just talking about it, telling your friends, telling your coworkers, or just people who you know might enjoy it is the best way to help us out.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
this is a question that some people love and some people hate. If this were to be adapted into a movie or a TV series, who would you want to cast as your main characters?
Oh, okay. So that is a very interesting question. For me, honestly, my characters kind of like exist the way I've drawn them and the way they are. The reason for that is that I have aphantasia. So for me, picturing things is really hard.
Yeah.
So even finding the perfect like references to draw my characters took me ages because I would draw them and I'm like, this doesn't quite look right. This isn't how I wouldn't really know how they should look, but I just knew this isn't how they should look like. So I did like multiple sketches of each character. I'm like, no, tweak it more, tweak it more, tweak it more. And so it's like they don't really have real world equivalents, so I can't really fan cast any characters. I'd be happy to see what the readers come up with, but for me, it's kind of like they are just the way they exist.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can picture things in my mind, and it's actually a problem for me sometimes as an author because I can see it, and I assume other people can see it, so I maybe don't describe it as well as I should. Because I'm like, well, it's right there in my head. How do you not see that?
But that wasn't the concern for me while I was writing as well, because when I would be describing things, I'd be like, am I explaining this well enough? Because in my head, it kind of like, it makes sense that this is how this thing is supposed to look, but am I describing it well enough for the readers to like pick up on? And so I had a lot of help from my critique partners in that. But most of them were like, yeah, it's clear enough. We can picture what you're saying.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
yeah.
Well, you've already talked
Yeah.
a little bit at the beginning about where people can find your book, but we do want to let them know that it is available everywhere, pretty much where books are sold, correct?
So it's on Kobo, it's on Barnes and Noble, it's on KDP, Fable, Apple Books, and Smashwords for now. I am planning on having it enrolled in like maybe Libby or the library programs as well, but I don't quite understand how that works yet. So I'm still looking into it,
Sure.
and then hopefully I'll have it there as well.
Cool.
So
And
yeah,
then if readers wanted to connect with you, maybe after seeing this interview, you're on social media, I
hopefully.
assume.
Yes, I am. So they can find me at Instagram and Threads. That's like where I'm most active at. But I'm also on X, and though I barely ever post there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm also on Blue Sky. So I basically like I have a presence in like all socials, but the most active and the most likely way they can connect with me is through Instagram and Threads for now.
And I'll put your handle right up here too on the video so people can search for it and hopefully find you
Awesome.
online.
Hopefully, yes.
Just to sort of wrap things up, if someone were to want to check out Frostbite, they're on the fence, they're not sure if they want to start looking it up. What would you say to sort of get them one final pitch to get them to pick up the book and read it?
So the way the geopolitical climate is in our world, I feel like it's really important for people to read diversely. And I'm very happy to see that people are like really open and happy to read from like own voices, Black authors, and Asian voices. But and in the fantasy space, there's like a lot of South Asian culture and books coming out with like our own fables and stories as well. But in the sci-fi space, I feel like there's still some gap which can be filled, and because like I said, like the Desi Cyberpunk is something entirely new, and I would really like it if they can kind of like take a chance on it and maybe discover something new and learn something new about how our culture is, and maybe find something they like in there.
Awesome. Well, I tell you
Yeah.
what, and this isn't necessarily for you, but it's for anybody who is watching this. Nimi applied to do this interview, so I read her sample. I went to Amazon to the ebook and I opened up the sample, and it gives you a good large chunk. I mean, there are several chapters in there that you can read,
Yes.
and I read all the way through it, and now I want to read more. Honestly, the one thing that I would ask you to do is go read the sample for Frostbite. you won't want to put it
Yes.
down. You want to keep reading because it's like an instant buy. Once I mean, it's very well written. It's very entertaining. It is full of culture that I actually enjoyed learning a bit about. But I mean,
Thank
just as a
you.
whole, it was, again, it wasn't like too much exposition. It wasn't this. It, like I said, it hits the ground running and it really pulls you in. You want to find out more. And then I even like the pacing of the fact that you've got almost like a reverse of what happens.
Yes.
Anyway, it was just kind of
I
cool to. It was just kind of cool the way you set everything up and then introduce the characters. And it's like, wait a minute, she's dead. Oh my gosh, we got to find out what happened. Oh, she's awake. I don't want to give away too
yeah.
much, but I mean, I was genuinely pulled in, and you will be pulled in too. If you go to the link down in the description, it's going to take you to Amazon. It's just click on the little box that says read sample. Trust me, you're going to want to read this because it is very, very good. That's why I was determined to get her on here to interview her because
Thank
I
you.
want more people to find out about this book. I want more people to read Frostbite. It is that good.
Thank you. I will like to warn the readers, though, that reading this book, have some snacks on hand because it will make you hungry. I've been told that consistently as well.
That's
because,
awesome.
yeah, because we do like gather around and spend a lot of time like eating and talking, and it's like meal times is a big time where family comes together and we talk about our day or what's going on. And so there's a lot of scenes in the book where you will get like delicious food descriptions, and it will make you want to try them as well. So
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, and
yeah.
I think it's something like that is interesting too. That's almost something that's unique to the genre. How many cyberpunk novels are you going to read? They're going to make you hungry and want a snack.
Exactly. Yeah.
All
So
right, I have taken up enough of your time. Thank you very much for
yeah.
joining me.
Thank you so
If,
much
like I
for
said,
having
if you
me.
can, yeah, it's very cool. Like I said, I was just thrilled with the book, and I need to pick it up so I can finish it and find out what happens.
Thank
But
you.
if you're watching, please don't forget to subscribe. Give us a like if you got anything out of it. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions for her. If you want to find out more, the link is like I said in the description. So please check out the book. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Book Click, and we will catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you.